said, my name is Corey. I've been in the hobby now for many, many years, back to 2010 when I got into today's modern board gaming in the hobby sense. I started with some of the simpler games that I could find at local game stores and kind of worked my way from there. Eventually the heavier and heavier Euro strategic games. I really like deck building mixed with, I used to like poker placement more, but now more area control and anything that has a twist on some of the more common mechanisms that you saw in previous games and how they make them different. I'm just a very mechanisms-driven type of viewer to all the new mechanisms that come out each and every year that I'm excited to try. And what I'm most excited for about this group as a whole is just coming up with more content and more of what we've already been doing, but also adding some more segments as well, getting some more playthroughs and some deeper dives, and really getting into the gameplay structure of some games which we haven't really done in previous content. So I'm really excited about those deeper dives, more strategy talk, getting to more conventions and talking to more publishers and just being more of a presence at some of these larger events. So that's what I'm looking forward to most.
Again, I'm John. I kind of got into this hobby a few years ago, actually, like some Corey. Obviously, I grew up playing board games and stuff, but it wasn't until randomly one day when I was with some other friends, kind of got invited back, and that's really where I just got into this talking cardboard idea, and ever since been playing games. Some of my favorite types of games are deck building games, such as playing more area control, Imperium. And also a really big fan of tile placements. Maybe you may not see this here and there. I also have another group of friends that I play a ton of Magic the Gathering with. I've been doing that since college, even a little bit growing up, like I mentioned earlier. So big into that. You probably see some content here too with Magic. And then my other big passion in life is Star Wars. So you're going to see Star Wars related games at the table here and there. And I'm kind of the go-to guy for anything Star Wars related. Some of the things I'm looking forward to with the channel are doing live streams of games we're playing. I also really enjoy doing our Extra Life fundraiser that we try to do at least one day a year. We're doing a long 24-hour marathon, raising money for the Children's Hospital in St. Paul. The other thing I'll mention that I'm excited for is engaging with the community here on the channel. I really want to meet more people, get more invested into what other people are playing, what their thoughts and questions they have about the games hobby.
Hey everyone, my name is Nick. I've been playing board games since I was a young kid. My friends in my neighborhood and I would play games like Cranium and Pokemon Master Trainer. Outdoors, usually we bring out, in the summertime, bring out a cardboard table and chairs. But it wasn't until middle school or high school when I really got into hobby board gaming. I got a copy of B-17 Into the Skies, which introduced me first to the complexity of what board games can be, and also board gaming, and also that there's games out there that are designed for solitaire play only. And since then, I've really enjoyed exploring the hobby, learning about all sorts of different types of board games. That's a big passion of mine, and different types of solitaire games. But I also really love the Ameritrash Dungeon Crawler type game, where you're developing your characters, rolling dice to resolve combat, all that type of fun stuff. So in general, well, most types of board games and mechanics, but those are the types that I try to get to the table the most. And in terms of what I'm looking forward to with Talking Cardboard, I just really enjoy expanding this hobby. I think there's so many people around our communities that aren't aware of how deep of a hobby this is, how many types of board games there are, how many additional board games there are than you see on the shelf of your big box stores. And then also, I think there's just great opportunities to use some of the more scientific themed board games as educational tools and bring those to life to make sure that parents and even educators are aware of a lot of those games as well. And hobby board games also are very educational. I think there's a great opportunity to
That is kind of our main goal or our main mission for the channel, is just to grow that community and we have a presence out there and really do what we can to fill those gaps within the community as a whole. So everyone that we're all focused on YouTube content and really push out as much content as we can, as widespread as possible for you all to see.
Yeah, and speaking of content, some of the things we're going to try doing more consistently going forward is do like our top games of all time at the beginning of every year, so we can kind of keep people in suspense and show what are we really enjoying playing from year to year. We're going to be doing game previews along with our game reviews. We're going to do more stretch and deep dives into some of the games we really
All right. Hey, everyone. Hope you can all hear me. I'm getting ready to do some live playthrough of Solar Titans, which is a deck builder ship combat game where opposing players, or in this case, a player versus an Autonoma, are controlling these giant capital ships that are trying to destroy one another. And I backed this on Kickstarter, I think only earlier this year, so I was very impressed with how fast this Kickstarter arrived and delivered. It's, component wise, it's just cards, so it's not like there's a lot that went into the game physically, component wise, I should say. And it is a relatively, from a rule standpoint, streamlined game. Nonetheless, still great job on getting this out to the backers, and it's a newer company, so appreciate what they're doing with this game. So when playing against a solo game in Solar Titans, you have a capital ship that's designed like this, and then the players player ships always have there's a draw deck of different layouts for player controlled ships. So I randomly drew this Terran. Let me do it this way. This Terran. God, I need to get a new thing here. Well, it's kind of hard to see, but it's this Terran 8 that I ended up randomly drawing. So this is a setup then for my ship. And if we go to the main screen here, these cards are all just basic they're called light plate, which is just basically hull cards. And then I have the targeting bay, and a laser, which is a weapon, this crew quarters, and the command deck. Now, in terms of functionality, these three cards, the command deck, the crew quarters, and targeting bay, give no bonus, but if destroyed, they actually then negatively impact me. So, for example, if we go back to the side cam, if it says, if disabled, +1 arm to fire weapons. So, that's a bad thing. I don't want this to be disabled. It takes more resources for me to fire my weapons, essentially. And then if the crew quarters is disabled, I have to discard 2 cards each turn, which is bad. You only get to draw 5, at least normally. And then finally, if the command deck is destroyed, you just lose the game. So this is the victory condition, actually, is destroying this. Now you'll see in the upper right, there's a green shield with a number, and that's how much firepower essentially is needed to take out any given card. So at least 2 firepower or more is needed to blow up the command deck, and all the other starting cards that you have are just 1. And weapons have this red value. So this laser has this red value, which is basically kind of the damage it does. So this laser does 1 damage, meaning it could theoretically, destroy any of these cards on my ship. And likewise, or any card right now on the opposing capital ship that I'm fighting. What else? I'll explain the game as I go along here. I'm sure there's a few things that I haven't mentioned yet. But for the most part, this is a very traditional, in my opinion, traditional deck builder game in terms of the mechanics. And appreciate that because it makes it easier to get into. I'm going to get the rule book. So I actually know what I'm doing. Okay, so I don't know if I actually... The market is over here. As with a lot of deck builder games, there's two piles of standard cards that I always have access to. One is called Hauling Crew, which either give me 2 money when I play it, or 2 money if I played this, or I can move a ship card around, which is potentially very useful if I want to reconfigure the layout of my ship. There's also these mercenary crew cards. These I can scrap to fire 1 ship weapon. So essentially, when you want to attack, you need to have crew to actually use your weapons that you've equipped to your ship. So that's one way that these cards get used. Or I just can prep them for future turns. So that's a nice kind of rule that's built into the game, is if you have these crew cards that you currently don't want to use on a turn, because as the game goes on, you're going to have more and more weapons to shoot, and they can combine fire to take out higher defense ship components. So if you have a laser that can do only 1 damage and a laser that can do 2 damage, and you want to take out a piece of the ship that requires 3 damage, then you have the lasers to do it, or weapons to do it. But then that means you need 2 crew cards, and if you only had 1 crew card in your hand for a turn and had to discard it, that'd be kind of annoying. So in this game, you're allowed to actually prep your crew cards and carry them over for future turns, so that way you can kind of amass a bunch of crew members to then do a 1 powerful attack with as many weapons as you choose. So I think that's kind of a cool part of the game. All right, so those are the only 2 cards that that's, like, I would say the always available cards that you need to worry about. Starting hand is 10 basic cards, and then you have the market deck over here, and you start the game with 5 market cards available, or actually I guess it's 6 that you set the market. Yeah, 6 cards are always available, and I'm drawing these now. 1, 2, 3. So I got 3 different weapons here, and then 3 hull cards. And in terms of types of cards, I need to double check if it explains that in the the Autonoma cards. That was one thing I haven't done yet either. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out here what the types of cards there are in the game. Like, there's ship cards. Well, hopefully it becomes clear as we play. So one thing that I haven't got is I need the Autonoma cards. So these Autonoma cards provide a little bit of variability to when playing the solo opponent. So the rules say you flip just the top, you shuffle this deck, you flip the top one, and then have to keep in mind whatever it says. So this one says whenever Automata ends its attack phase without disabling any ship cards, Automata takes a highest cost ship weapon on the market roll as an upgrade. So that's not good. But that's in play now for... I don't know if these go out of play at any point, but it's in play. I'm going to put it up there for now. I'm trying to, that's what I was trying to see, if it, defines ship card, for example. Okay, so there's... Yeah, jeez. There's main market cards. Okay, and then of the main market cards, I think it's ship cards and crew cards that you can buy, and I assume... Anyway, I'm not going to get too caught up on that for the moment. So, okay, so then the soul rules say that player setup's the same. My setup's the same as a non-soul game. And then draw one card from the main market pile and place it face up near the Automa ship. If it's not a ship card, scrap it and draw again. I think scrap just means discard in this game. Yeah. Move it to the market scrap pile. So I will do that. I draw the top card. And this is a laser. And therefore, and place it near the Automa ship. So I will go ahead and do that Automata ship and just put it up there, I guess. And that's going to dictate the type of turn the AI ship will take. But first I go. And, yeah, so now I get to draw my 5 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So I'll show you what I got here. I have cargo crew. Move this up a little bit. Cargo crew, arming crew, cargo crew. And these, of course, are the starting... This symbol actually denotes it's like a starting type card. So you can see you got a lot of cargo crew to start the game. Cargo crew basically just give you money to buy better cards. And then arm is one of those, like I was saying earlier, cards that you can use to activate your weapons. And I don't know if it's this early in the game it makes sense to prep it, so I probably will just use that right away to shoot my alpha laser. So I'll show how that works in a minute. So then I have 4 coins, or 4 money or gold to spend. And looking at the, oh man, this is kind of hard to see, I know, probably, but of the 5 cards available in the market, there's 1 4, there's 2 6s and a 5, so I can't buy those. The game says if you want, you can spend 1 gold to scrap a card, the highest value card on the market. So for example, I could spend 1 of my 4 to scrap one of these 6, and then hope I draw a card maybe that I could actually have the money to purchase. I don't think it's worth doing that right now. I'm tempted just to get this gamma laser since it's 4. And it has this... So, for example, this is a gamma laser that I'm looking at buying. It's 4 gold, so I have the money to do it. This card does 2 damage, opposed to the current laser on my ship, the alpha laser, which just does 1. And I just need to quickly I need to look up what this 4... what this symbol at the bottom means. Charge. Spend that number to set weapon as front attack level 2 for the current turn. Oh, I see. Okay, so normally this card does 2, and that arrow means front attack. It hits the first card in any column, and that's something I haven't gotten into detail yet. But when you're attacking, you're basically attacking front on. You can't just attack any card on the enemy ship, which I think is thematic and makes sense. But this symbol, it's kind of hard to see. It's not going to probably focus well enough, but it's actually like a double-headed arrow, and that means it's a pierce attack, which hits the first card on any column, leftover damage, carries to next cards. So that immediately then is interesting, but I have to spend 4 gold to use that type of attack. But it's at face value, it gives me 2 additional attack, which is in itself, I think, not bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and spend my 4 gold, and you can do all this in any order you want, which I appreciate that they're not overcomplicating that. So I'm just gonna take all my 4 gold, put them over here because I've used them for, or I'm discarding them because I spent them. Then I'm going to attach the card I just bought next to another card on my ship. Now you have to imagine a 5x5 hex around your ship, and you have to fit any cards you're adding to your ship within a 5x5 matrix. So, ideally you have cards that are in front of important cards. You have like what's the word? Plate cards in front of weapon cards to protect them. But I could stick this on the very front of my ship, but then there's absolutely no card I could put in front of it at that point, because then this is of course 5 cards long, so this would be a very vulnerable weapon. So I think that would be dumb. So I feel like just attaching it to, maybe even attaching it to protect my command deck. I think that's smart because my command deck is very exposed to side weapons. So, which is a type of weapon card. We haven't seen it yet, but there are side weapons. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to attach that. All right. So I still haven't actually even used my arm card, and I can do that now after placing that weapon. So I will. Well, it doesn't matter. So this is a case where it won't matter if I use my alpha laser for 1 damage or my gamma laser for 2 damage, because right now when I look at the opposing ship, I have to attack a column. So it has to either be this column that I'm attacking, this column I'm attacking, this column I'm attacking, this one, or this one. And all these columns start with cards that only require 1 damage to destroy them. So whether I'm using a 1 damage card or a 2 damage card, it's not going to make a difference. Now, in terms of which column to prioritize, this middle column is the one that has their command deck. And so that's the one that I theoretically would want to go after, because eventually I want to narrow down this column so I'm attacking the command center. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Since I bought it, I'm going to I'm using my gamma laser, and pew, I blow up their front plate there. And that would be my turn. So that's like the action phase of the turn. After you do the action phase, then you discard your played and unused cards. If there theoretically was a card I didn't use, but I used everything. You can repair your ship. So these were off to the side, but in this game you have these kind of repair cards that you just start with, and I don't understand the numbering at all, like why it's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Because they all literally have the same exact result or effect. You repair 1 ship card at the end of your turn. And but nonetheless, you have 5 of these, and obviously I don't need to use any of them right now, but I have them at my disposal. And then but so I'm not going to repair, and then finally draw 5 new cards. So I have exactly 5 cards left. I'll show you quickly what these are going to be. So Cargo Crew. Cargo Crew, Cargo Crew, Cargo Crew. I wonder what happened here. Crew Coordinator. So this is one we haven't seen yet. And this one either gives me 1 money or 1 money to scrap a card in hand. So this is a good card to eventually, clean out your deck over time. And then another Arming Crew card for weapons. So, but that would be for my next turn. Now we resolve the Automata ship's turn. Okay, so what you do on the Automata ship's turn, and I'm going to just go through word by word here. Okay. So it resolves its card based on what it takes its turn based on the kind of card it drew. I guess on the last draw. And what it drew at the start of the game was a laser. So if it's a ship weapon card, which it is, the actions, the solo or Automata rules are that it's going to attack and upgrade, and it says it will fire all its ship weapons in play and targets the player's ship cards in this order: first, command deck, crew quarters, or targeting bay. It can't hit any of those. Then it does ship weapons. So this is where I was dumb. I have this weapon. There was a good chance this was going to happen, I guess. Or actually, I knew it was going to happen. So it was maybe a rookie mistake that I will regret maybe for the rest of this game. But so it will target, for sure it will blow up this weapon. And then so the AI ship gets to start with 2 lasers actually. And each laser does 1 damage. So this only needed 1 damage to blow up, so that's gone. And then it still has 1 laser remaining, and since it can't do either any of the A or B priority attacks, it's going to move on to C, which is many lowest defense ships as possible. Defense ship cards as possible. And there's a draw between these two, in which case, at that point, if there are multiple targets, you can pick which are disabled. I'm going to do this one because this is the column that has my command deck located on it. So I think the smart choice is to choose that card. And once a card is then flipped over, the next card is now exposed. So this card's disabled. That means on its next turn, with a front attack, it now would be going after this ship card. So again, thematically, it makes a lot of sense, at least to me, on how the game works from an attack perspective. All right. So that was the attack part of its turn. Now it moves on the upgrade part, which says the Automata places a ship weapon card in this order. Replace a disabled ship weapon card directly to the left or right of the command deck. So theoretically, if one of these cards I had blown up in a previous turn or disabled on a previous turn, it would replace that disabled card with the weapon card that it drew, but that's not going to happen. And keep in mind this AI ability card, which says whenever Automata ends the attack phase without disabling any ship cards, but it did, so we're going to ignore that, but something to keep in the back of our mind. Okay, so going back to where it's going to place that weapon. This option is unavailable, so the next option is replace a lower cost ship weapon card, prioritizing by lowest cost. And then it says treat alpha lasers as 2 cost. So So yeah, generally these cards wouldn't have a cost associated with them because they're starting cards, and it's the rules say for this purpose they count as two. So replace a lower cost ship weapon card. So these are two. This card that it drew is cost 3, so it is higher. So it would replace than one of these cards, and I don't. Since it's an equal choice, I get to decide, I guess. So I'm just going to do that one, and I'm not going to scrap this since it's a starting card. So I'll just put it off to the side over there. So it got to attack and got an upgraded weapon. So not a bad turn for the AI capital ship here, and let's see if it does anything else. All right. And then after resolving all drawn cards on the automatus turn by drawing one new card from the main market. Oh, I did not replace maybe a lot of people were yelling like, "Oh, replace the deck," because you just like any other deck builder, when you when you buy a market card, you immediately replace it. So this was already replaced in the market, but at the end of my turn. Now, the AI draws a card, and this one's the first crew card we drew, which is called Transport Crew. See, this is kind of a cool card. Just to let you show what the upgraded crew card does. So it's called Transport Crew, and it says not only does it give 1 gold, but also first purchase goes to bottom of draw deck. So that's kind of cool. Not that I'm going to be able to buy it because of the fact it was drawn for the AI. If it's not a ship card, scrap it and draw again. So this is not a ship card. It's a crew card, so I do have to scrap it and draw again, which is a ship card. I drew this backup hub. So it's a ship card, and it says during your turn you disable this card to repair 1 ship card. Interesting. So it's kind of like a sacrifice card. And this card cannot be repaired, which I guess makes sense that you can't repair the card that you flip to repair. I'm trying to understand. Yeah, I mean, I guess it just gives you kind of like a life pointer, so to speak. So anyway, that's the card that it drew, and that means now I know for my turn, since it drew a non-weapon card, the AI is going to be taking a turn, a non-combat turn. Specifically, it's going to be doing a reinforced turn. So back to me, and let's review again the cards I have. Sorry. I was doing a little... So I have 4. So I don't think I'm going to use the scrap ability of my crew coordinator. But I would like to... I'm going to move this up a little bit. Get those out of the way. So I can better display these for you guys. There you go. Okay, so I'm gonna say I have 4 gold and then can arm a card. Oh man. It's gonna reinforce on its turn, which I think it's just gonna repair a card that's already damaged. And this is annoying because I have my disabled weapon. My disabled good weapon now. That's just a waste. Alright, so let's look at the market. I gotta be smarter now. I need to make sure I have armor in front of a weapon, I think, before I place the weapon. And there's this kinetic plate for 4 gold. That's 2 armor. So I'm kind of eyeing this. Oops. I'm kind of eyeing this because it's 2 armor and it says if disabled, draw 1 card to hand. So it gives a bonus. You know, obviously you don't want it to get destroyed, but if it does, you at least get some sort of result from that. I could add another laser, a boost laser. But we saw what happened the last time I added a weapon. It just got destroyed right away. So I think, again, that's dumb. There's also a nano plate for 3 gold, which says freely move on your turn. Oh, okay. So that's an interesting card. This is called nano plate, and it says freely move on my turn. So let's say an area was getting exposed. I could shift this over to another part of my ship to help stop the bleeding, so to speak. I think that's kind of a unique idea, a concept. So cool effect on that card. I like that. And it's only 3 gold. Whereas that other one was 4 gold, same amount of defense, and its ability was just I get to draw a card to your hand if it's disabled. But the problem is, okay, you can see with 4 gold, okay, I spend 3 and then I only have 1 left, and guess what? There's actually not much I can do with 1 gold other than scrap a high cost card on the market. So I'm going to go ahead and just do that. See what happens. I'm going to buy this for 3 gold. I'm going to spend my 4th gold to... there's actually 2 of these Scythe Beam cards in the market. Oh, so actually, no. First of all, I do get to replenish right away. And it's a 4 cost card that I drew. Called the Deck Crane. And... gain 1 gold each turn. See, that's the kind of cards that are fun. Because I was going to say, how do you get more gold? Oh, and I forgot. There are the hauling crew and mercenary crew cards that I could be buying. The hauling crew actually is what gives you 2 gold, and I maybe should be buying those early on, to help boost my economy. But I feel like I'm committing now to that nano plate and scrapping. Because alternatively, I could buy 2 of these cards. And then I really could start... Oh, gosh, there's a learning curve for sure to this game in terms of what makes sense, what actions make sense. Well, I already have an idea, or had an idea, so I'm going to follow through with it. So I'm going to scrap then one of these Scythe Beams, which costs 6. So then I hope to get a lower... Wow, this card's only 2 gold. See, this is a standard plate that... This is the kind of card I really wish I had available this turn to buy. 2 defense, but only 2 gold. So, good economy plate right there. Some good economy plate. But I can't get it this turn, so I've spent my 4 gold that I had, and then I still have my arm card that I could prep for next turn or just use it. And, I don't see value in saving it for the time being. So because of that, I'm going to go ahead and use it. and I'm going to arm my one weapon, which is the Alpha Laser, which just does 1 damage, and I'm going to go ahead and knock the next card in this main column. Again, trying to work my way down to that command deck. That's my turn. So, as like with any deck builder, after your turn... Hi Ashley, thanks for joining the channel, or the stream. So just like any good deck builder, when you have no cards left in your draw pile and you need to draw, you shuffle. And I'm going to do that. All right, that's the only problem with deck. I mean, you can. There's no way around it. They do have those automated shuffling machines. A lot of people probably think they damage cards, which is probably true. So let's see what my next 5 cards are going to be. Cargo Crew, Cargo Crew, Cargo Crew, Cargo Crew. Almost, geez, almost got the 5 of a kind there, and an arming crew. Okay. So back to the AI turn. Now the AI has a ship card, but it's not a weapon. So that means we follow the reinforce procedure. Replace a disabled non-weapon ship card is the first priority with that. And you're probably wondering, okay, so there's 2 cards it can replace that are disabled. Where there are multiple cards to replace, prioritize going up the middle column, then left to right. So when there are multiple, up the middle, then left to right. Okay, so the first one, up the middle column, so here, is what, there's a diagram in the rule book kind of illustrating how you would go about, repairing the ship. And it's saying that the 1 is up the column and then left and right. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Oh, wait. Let me go back to that page. So replace this disabled card with this backup hub. Now you're probably wondering, okay, well, how do I handle the backup hub special ability for the AI? And the AI rules specify that the automata does not trigger any ship card special effects. So I don't worry about the special effect on that. Backup hub, to me, it's just a 1 defense card that I have to fight through. Okay, so then, the end of the AI turn is just, I think, drawing a card that's... Oh, wait. Whenever Automata ends its attack phase, so... Yeah, okay. It did not have an attack phase. That's one thing I was confused about. Just a sec. Okay, so it will draw a ship card, which it did, and it's a non-weapon ship card. So it's going to be doing a reinforce action again on its next turn. So I keep that in mind. And it goes back to me. So now I have 4 money to work with and this arm card. And I have 2 disabled parts on the ship. But on that last turn, I had that standard plate that was very intriguing. So I already said earlier that it'd be great if I could have that option to. I wish I had the option to get that standard plate sooner, and then I'm wondering if I spend then the remaining 2 gold. I could get a. There's also in the market. There's of this boost laser I could buy with 2 gold. So it's tempting. I could, yeah, it's tempting. It's tempting. Oh my gosh, but it's like, geez, I feel like I'm playing this game very wrong. That's my first time. I do think I need to be having higher money turns, because there's just no way I'm going to get a 6 card at this point. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 2 for that standard plate, then 2 for a hauling crew. So I take these, put them in my discard. I guess first I spend 2 to get the standard plate, which again was this. Gives me 2 gold. Gives me 2 defense. And then I think I place it right away. That's actually a good. I don't know if you have to place it right away or not. Because technically, there might be a reason why you don't want to necessarily place. Oh no, I can't place it right away. It can't be placed right away, so that's not an issue. And then I drew another Scythe Beam, which is the 6 gold card. Jeez. Okay, so continuing with my original plan of getting this card and then one of these hauling crew cards, which again will give me 2 gold, and then or I can scrap a ship card at some point, or I can use it to scrap a ship card. So I put those both in my discard along with the crew that I used. Then I still have my arming crew, which don't see a reason why I'm not just going to utilize now to shoot my alpha laser, which does 1 damage, and I will again go back to the center column to flip that card over. Then I draw the 5 cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now it's the enemy's turn. They are going. Oh, see, this is getting tricky because this card is what's called a Dione, I think is how you pronounce that word. Dione or Dione plate, and it has a 3 defense that I'm gonna have to shoot through. And the rules say it. I mean, there's only the middle column anyway to repair, but you know, it makes sense that it's trying to prioritize the middle column because that's the command deck is again the winning condition for me to blow up. So, wow, it's gonna place that there. And as if you guys are understanding right now, I only have a laser that does 1 damage, so for sure it's not going to be able to blow up this 3 defense card. Whew, jeez. All right, so then end of turn, I draw a new new ship card, which it is, and it's a laser, meaning that on its turn it's going to shoot me with its weapons. So, yeah, that's kind of scary. But back to my turn. So I have 4 gold. Because I don't think I want to use, again, the Crew Coordinator's ability to spend a gold to scrap a card in my hand. But, gosh, maybe I do want to start doing that just to start getting better cards. But I don't know. Gosh. I'm wondering if I need to prep this now. And I mean, part of me wants to repair my gamma laser and start trying to prep for a double attack now so I can blow up that Dione plate. I don't know, though. I'm really thinking that maybe overthinking this. Because at 4 gold, what can I buy with 4 gold? I could get a boost laser for 2 gold. I could get another kinetic put for 4 gold. And then when you're buying a card, I think when you're placing a card, you can just place it on top of a... I was wondering if you can yeah, you can just scrap ship cards. It said you can scrap any of your ship cards as long as no ship cards are detached at the end of your turn. So I don't know if it matters. So theoretically, I could place like a kinetic plate card here. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I'm already playing wrong, I think. Yeah, so I did that wrong. I was not supposed to immediately place cards after I buy them. I'm supposed to put the ship cards into the discard. I don't know why I thought I could just place them right away. So if people were saying if you were thinking I was doing that wrong, I was. I guess in my mind I was thinking you only did that for crew cards, but which makes the game that much harder because then of course I wouldn't be getting as much money per turn as I thought I was originally. But nonetheless, I'm going to start playing the right way moving forward here. Oh gosh. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and spend. Do I want to spend 4 gold on a kinetic plate? Does that make sense? Sure. I'm going to spend 4 gold on a kinetic plate, which I put in my discard. And then I'm going to prep this card for the future, which I'm just going to put off to the side here, kind of below everything to show it's prepped. Alright, so then these cards are discarded. I draw up... Oh, wait. Forgot to replenish the market right away. This one is called Artemis Missile. That's 7 gold. Wow. Now this is the first time we've seen hits one left or rightmost card on any row. So that's another type of weapon direction. So that can be very valuable because basically it's saying that you can kind of bypass going down the middle of this column. I could, just attack from the sides, which might be the easier approach. Especially like if this card, like if I could blow that up right, theoretically, and it's just, oops. Anyway, it's also kind of thematic. The missiles are like going around, which makes sense in my mind. So I apologize. I was playing wrong. Basically, I just wouldn't have. Well, I mean, maybe by now I have those cards out there. But, so I'm drawing my new hand for next turn. 1, 2, and 4. And one thing that I'm going to do is use a repair card to repair that weapon. Just because I want to have access to it for the future. Like, I bought it. I have this shield in front of it now. So, alright. We, go to the Automator's turn. They got a weapon card. Or they do a weapon card, meaning that they're going to do an attack and upgrade. So, command deck, crew quarters, or targeting bay. Can they hit that with their weapons? And they can't. Ship weapons, no ship weapons. Either, so as many lowest defense ship cards as possible. So, So I think what's going to... Geez, this is where... this is where I'm not 100% sure if I'm playing right or if I'm gaming the system, because it can't do A or B, so it does C, which is as many lowest ship cards as possible. And I could, for example, disable this one, which means then it can disable this one. But when it says there's multiple options with the same priority, which right now there's this one or this one, I get to choose, which would double better. Obvious, the logical choice for them would be this one, so I protect my targeting bay. So I'm gonna assume I can make that decision. So that means it will disable this one, and then it has again to choose between. It has its other laser that's going to blow up one of these light plate cards, so I'm going to choose this one as the other option. And that's the attack phase. Now upgrade phase. Place the ship weapon card in this order. Place the disabled ship weapon card directly to the left, right. Doesn't have any, so then it says replace a lower cost ship weapon card. Replace a lower cost ship weapon card. Now this boost laser happens to be a 2 cost card, and the rules say that both of the alpha lasers the Automata ship has are considered, well, this one is considered 2, and now this one's actually a 3. So neither of these are lower than this card, which means if neither case applies, scrap the card. And that's it. So it just scraps that. And then we draw a new card for the Automata, which is a relic missile. So that means it's going to attack again on its next turn. Okay, so it's my turn again. I have 5 gold. I can also choose to scrap a card. 5 gold sounds nice though. I could buy myself a Dione plate for 5 gold. I also could get the Deck Crane. Ooh, the Deck Crane sounds nice. Because that's the card that gives me 1 gold, would give me 1 gold each turn. But obviously that's a card that I don't want getting blown up. What I don't understand is at what point in a turn it says each turn. So when you yeah. Anyway. So I could get that, and then I'd have 1 remaining, which doesn't do me anything. So it's like maybe I prioritize the Dione plate for more protection. I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to spend my 5 gold to get this Dione plate, which provides 3 shield. And now that I know how to play, I put it in my discard pile. And then all 5 of my cards were spent on that purchase, so they go in the discard. I still have this arm card left over from a previous round, and this can stay, I believe, prepped indefinitely, and you can have as many of these prepped indefinitely as you want, from my understanding from the rules. And man, I don't know if I feel guilty about using these repairs so soon, but I think I should use another repair card just to repair this one, because I know on its turn it's going to oh yeah, this isn't good. But anyway, on its turn it's going to blow up both of those. If I didn't repair this, it's going to go after my targeting bay, which I really don't want to have to worry about losing. So that's my turn. I then draw 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right, so that's got some interesting cards. Interesting set of cards there. All right, so then that's my turn. AI turn. They have a weapon card, so they're going to go ahead and attack. They're going to use their 2 lasers to attack as many shield cards as possible because they can't get after anything else more juicy. Or actually, take that back. So this is where I think I do have to be careful because I don't know if it has to be one at a time. That's what isn't very clear to me in how they attack. It just says you decide the sequence in which weapons are fired. The Automata fires all its ship weapons in play. So it uses all of its weapons. That's for sure. But it's interesting because it says it will combine its weapons to attack a higher priority target. But yeah, which it can't combine either to do a priority A, which is command, deck, crew, or targeting bay. So then it goes to C, as many lowest defense ship cards as possible. Well, anyway, so I think it's one. I think I do have to kind of go through them one at a time. Meaning, do I want to? I'll either be losing my targeting bay or be losing my alpha laser. I genuinely don't know what's worse to lose because this if I lose my targeting bay, it says +1 arm to fire weapons, meaning I'm going to have to use two arm cards to arm a weapon, which means if I want to arm 2 weapons, that's 4 arm cards, which is a pretty abysmal. Whereas if I take out my alpha laser, it's one less weapon I can shoot, and my whole goal that I was striving here was to be able to shoot both my weapons. So either way, it's just as bad. I guess the targeting bay is better for the short term because otherwise I'm really putting my command deck at risk. I have my repair cards that I'll probably be using anyway, so I'm overthinking it as usual. I'm going to disable that one, and then it gets to, what's this say? Oh yeah, +1 to fire. Yeah, that's a nice little, it gives you a nice reminder too when you flip it over that +1 arm to fire weapons, which I appreciate, so you don't forget about that. All right, so what that means is the AI is done with firing. Now it's going to decide where it's going to put this weapon, and this is a cost 3. And that cost 3 is higher than this cost 2 alpha laser. So it's going to lose the alpha laser and then gain this relic missile. And this is getting scary because this relic missile has the ability to attack from the side, which means it can go after kind of the heart of my ship here on its turn. So yeah, that's not good. But it's my turn, so I can do something about that, and I will. So I have this kinetic plate. I'm going to place this kinetic plate right next to the left of my missile, or my laser, to protect it from that relic missile. And you know what? I'm going to do the same thing to the right side now of my crew quarters, which is unfortunate because it's not necessarily where I wanted to place it maybe originally, but I guess it makes sense to bulk up the center. Oops. I placed the other shield over here to protect my crew quarters from the side. Again, really more for that because of that relic missile. Oh, I forgot to draw for the man, how many mistakes have I been making? So this, I guess, would have been to fill the market at the end of my last turn, and then now I'm drawing for the AI's next turn, which is going to be another weapon attack. Great. Oh, that's a cool card, though. Look at this. It's called a mining laser. Only does 1 damage, but it only costs 2, and it says you can arm this to gain 1 gold instead of attacking. So it's got kind of universal ability. Alright, so now I can either spend to move a ship card, which I don't think really would help me anyway. I'm gonna prep, so I have my arm card. I'm gonna also add to my prep stash. So then I basically have 3 gold to spend. And when I look at the market, there's a boost laser for 2 gold. Everything else then is 4 or more gold, so I can't get anything for just 2 or 3. I mean, which makes me wonder if I get another hauling crew for 2 and then scrap a scythe beam for 1, in which case I should just scrap, or this Artemis missile, which is 7. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to that anytime soon. Or I have to, it says it has to be the highest, which would be the Artemis missile. So I think I'm going to spend 1 of my gold to scrap this Artemis missile. And look at that, I get a 2 gold weapon called the Flux Beam. Oh, this is dumb. So, this Flux Beam, as you can oh, geez, am I blind? Oh, I picked up the wrong card. So this Flux Beam says 0 damage. It's a split damage card, but does 0 damage. So that's like, what the heck? But then in the description it says, if armed, you swap places of the 2 targeted enabled ship cards. I don't know what enabled means. But it's basically, it theoretically would let you enabled means the opposite of disabled. So for example, this would be a perfect example would be, okay, I'm trying to go down the column, shoot down the column of the enemy capital ship here. This is 3 defense, this is only 1. So with this Flux Beam, if I had that, I could switch this card with this card and then follow up with an attack disabling this one in the center and getting further down that middle column. However, the one problem with that is in the FAQ, it says Flux Beams cannot target disabled. Oh. I thought it couldn't be used against... For some reason, I swear you couldn't use those against the autonomous ship. Which I guess, I don't know why I thought that. But I think I made that up in my mind. I think I read that Flux Beam special rule and thought it says you... and maybe misread that. Yeah, okay, so that flux beam now is interesting. Because I have 2 gold and I could get the flux beam to do what I just described, but I also could get a hauling crew, which gives me 2 gold for future turns to maybe get something even better than the flux beam. The flux beam doesn't do damage. I'm gonna go get the hauling crew. All right, so that's that turn, and it's getting late here where I'm at, so I'm gonna take a break there. But so far I'm having a good time. I mean, like I said, the frustration for me with this game is just not knowing the game well enough to understand if what I'm doing is smart or not. And I know playing against the human's a different experience against playing against the bot in terms of, I'm sure, the strategy you have to take. As I can imagine, when you're playing a human, you're trying to counter the play of the human player, whereas with the bot, it has kind of more of a unique, it has a different type of play style. Like what it's going to be doing on its turn, based on the card it drew at the end of its turn. So, with that said, I really think the game's very thematic. Everything, all the effects of these cards make sense to me. I think, and there's I think it's very creative on the abilities and effects of the cards, and there's a lot of great choices to be made in terms of how you're building out your own ship. And by the way, one thing I wanted to do too is I'm going to repair my. Geez, do I need to repair 2 cards? Because it's going to attack. Yikes. Yikes, because now it has that side attack card. So it will... Whew. That side attack card's brutal. Very brutal, because... Yeah, I don't think I have a choice. I think I... Ooh, gosh. Yeah, what I need to show you what I'm realizing. So on its turn, it's going to attack with both its weapons. If I don't do anything, the side gun can the laser could blow up this, and the side gun could then blow up that, because the side gun can come from the side and take out the most exposed card on a column, or in a row. I mean. And it will prioritize the laser, so it's going to take that out. The laser's going to take that out. So that's 2 another kind of critical cards that I don't want gone. If I repair the target bay, this card's still going to get blown up anyway. And if I repair this one too, that shield will actually not matter, I don't think. And I do have this ability which says freely move on your turn. But I don't really know if it matters if I move this anywhere. Yeah, that side attack card is just brutal. Well, I think I should still repair the target bay. God, it just sucks because I'm not going to have it then on my next turn again. And I'm trying to figure out if I bother repairing that card. Yeah, I think I do, because otherwise it goes after that. Otherwise the laser's going to be able to go straight for that. So that's where I don't quite understand again the priority of the weapons, because clearly if I can do the laser first, it says you decide the sequence in which weapons are fired. And that to me means I can shoot the laser first. And if it's shooting first, yeah, I don't know if it actually does matter though. Okay, well anyway, overthinking probably, but nonetheless, having a good time with this game. Definitely looking forward to seeing what happens. Yeah, with that said, definitely check out Solar Titans if you like deck building games and space combat. You know, this is a pretty seamless, a very quick game to play. I'm just overthinking a lot with each move, but yeah, thanks so much for watching the stream. Definitely check out this QR code. Put your phone up to this QR code down here, and that will take you to the link tree for Talking Cardboard with our links to all of our different other content sources, such as TikTok, of course, our YouTube. If you're watching this on Twitch, or if you're watching on YouTube Live, we have a Twitch, as well as a Kick, which still has yet to receive its first follower. So, oh, thanks, Matthew. I don't know how long you've been watching, but appreciate you joining the stream. And yeah, I'll probably try to finish this out within the next day or so. Hopefully I'm playing the game right. As I mentioned earlier, I made that mistake of immediately adding ship cards to my ship after I purchased them, and I am supposed to put them in my discard first. But I don't think it has made a huge impact on the game. Definitely, my ship might be even a worse spot than it is right now. But yeah, this is in the AI system is challenging. I think I hope I've shown that in this playthrough, that this isn't the AI is not easy by any means, and this is the basic AI ship. The rules, there are like different configurations for other types of AI ships to make the AI ship even harder, and you can play co-op too. So I could be playing with another human player who has their own ship that they're managing, and we both could be going after one automata ship, which I think is kind of fun too. I would love to try that sometime. So anyway, thanks so much for watching, and hope to see you guys again soon. Oop.